It's the 2007 French presidential race that's drawing attention. What with now news that former First Lady, ex-supermodel Carla Bruni faces potential witness tampering charges. This after a star witness in the case recanted his evidence. Magistrates probing suspicions that late Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi bankrolled part of Nicolas Sarkozy's successful 2007 run through middleman Ziad Taqieddine. More on that story with Delana de Souza.
She's often spotted on red carpets around France and Europe, and now Carla Bruni-Sarkozy finds herself in the crosshairs of the French legal system. The supermodel turned singer became France's First Lady in 2008 after marrying Nicolas Sarkozy, who was president at the time. Born in Italy but raised in France, the 56-year-old is an heir to Italian rubber manufacturer Seat. On Tuesday, Bruni-Sarkozy was handed preliminary charges for witness tampering. The case is part of an ongoing investigation into former President Sarkozy. Courts are looking into an operation dubbed Save Sarko, which includes a retracted statement by Ziad Taqieddine, the Franco-Lebanese businessman who now lives in Lebanon since a separate conviction in France, had initially claimed to have handed over Libyan funds to Sarkozy's 2007 campaign. Bruni-Sarkozy is suspected of acting as an intermediary in 2020 between the former president and a friend in the celebrity press who allegedly orchestrated Taqieddine withdrawing his statement on camera. France's former First Lady has now been placed under judicial supervision. Carla Bruni-Sarkozy has been forbidden from contacting all those involved in the case, except her husband.
And with us, we're joined by attorney William Julié. Let's get to Carla Bruni in a moment. But first, there's this star witness, Ziad Taqieddine. He was a little bit accused of being one of the bagmen in this case, but he turned state's evidence and then recanted it.
Yeah, he's been in the sunlight for more than 10 years now. The original case connected to this one is the case about the financing of the presidential campaign, and that goes back to an investigation opened in 2013, I think. And Ziad Taqieddine was one of the main guys involved, but not only involved, but involving other people.
And he starts to spill the beans, and then in 2020, he recants.
Yeah, that's it. So,
enter Carla Bruni.
Yeah, that's it. So 2013, he's indicted and he's targeted by the investigations, and he says, yes, maybe I did some stuff, but I handed over 5 million or something like that in cash to Nicolas Sarkozy directly, or to
strictly illegal under campaign finance rules in France.
Absolutely. And then I think he varied quite a lot, but then in 2020, indeed, he does this first, I think, interview for BFM, and it comes out in Paris Match or something like that. And I think that after that, he also, because it does not seem to had so much effect, then he sends a notarized letter to the investigating judges to confirm that he is not maintaining his accusations against Nicolas Sarkozy. And then when an investigation is started, and this is the Carla Bruni-Sarkozy case we're discussing now, I think judges go to Lebanon to interview him because he has been, in the meantime, sentenced to 5 years in jail in France in the Karachi case, I think. So he's on the run, and he's hiding in Lebanon. So the magistrates go there to interview him. And I think that at one point, then he comes back to his initial position and says, no, actually, what I said in the beginning is true. So now he is maintaining again his accusations.
And they reportedly found hard evidence with these text messages exchanges and what looks a lot like a burner phone. That is to say, Carla Bruni goes out and asks, first off, where can I get a phone that's not been traced?
Yeah, that's it. With caution, of course, because
right. This is an allegation.
And I don't have access to the case, so right. I mean, I'm just reading what your investigation colleagues have brought to light, and I do assume that they have viewed some of the bundle documents. But yes, I mean, it seems that the investigators have discovered some technical hard evidence, pieces of evidence, amongst which the number of a burner phone that was associated to Carla Bruni's Apple account or something like that. And then from this, they traced text messages, dates of contacts, dates of phone calls between this phone and people involved during the expedition to Lebanon, where apparently this interview was carried out.
You rightly
and
point
payments.
out. You rightly point out, William Julié, that what we're going on right now is what investigative journalists from Mediapart and Le Monde have so far reported. We haven't seen more. Based on what you've seen, can she plead ignorance?
What we know is that whatever she pleaded only partially went through, because she was indicted for some of the charges, and for one other charge she was not indicted. She was placed under what we call le statut de témoin assisté, which is assisted witness. That means that she's still considered a witness, but with access to the case. But on some other charges, she was indicted, meaning that the investigating judges considered that there was sufficient pieces of evidence.
We don't have indictments in France, right? It's placed under formal investigation.
Yeah, that's it. It's the mise en examen, which is
formal investigation.
Yeah, exactly. This is when an investigating judge, on the face of investigations carried out before by the police, consider that there are sufficient pieces of evidence to charge you. And then once you are charged, you have access to the case. You can request.
So from what you're saying, she's more than just peripheral to this story.
It seems...
This story being the 2007 campaign and connecting the dots between Muammar Gaddafi and Nicolas Sarkozy.
I don't think she's involved in that. She's involved in this sequence where
the star witness changes.
Where people go to Lebanon and apparently, against money or promises of money, obtain that this Mr. Takieddine will make a change in his statements and retrieve his accusations against Nicolas Sarkozy. And Carla Bruni-Sarkozy would be in the middle between her husband and this Mimi Marchand lady, who apparently is a friend of hers.
All right, William Julié, let's talk politics here for a second. Nicolas Sarkozy faces, you've just described it, not one, but several cases. I think there's at least 4 where he's under formal investigation, where he's actually facing trial.
Oh, and he's more than that. He's been tried twice at least, and he's appealed
appeals.
Against one.
He's got a long string of trials.
Yeah.
Why were the Sarkozy couple among the invitees at when Joe Biden was here for a state dinner just a couple of weeks ago in Paris?
I can't answer that question. I don't know.
But what is your reaction when you saw those images there of the Sarkozys continue to be welcomed to the presidential palace? And
yeah, Nicolas Sarkozy for the moment has not.
The French don't really see this as a problem. They see it as old history, or
I don't know. I think that he remains very popular. Quite a bunch of people who are in politics have faced judicial issues. Some have been sentenced without any possibility to appeal anymore. I think Alain Juppé, for example, was sentenced and then became mayor of Bordeaux again. So, I mean, it is also possible to continue to exist politically if you have been sentenced. If you have been sentenced finally, I don't think this is the case for Nicolas Sarkozy. He's still fighting the sentences that were passed against him and the guilty sentences passed against him. So as it is, if you go by the rule of law, he is still considered non-guilty on a final conclusion. So I guess that maybe he's going with that. We'll see how far it can go. And
Same-
yeah, I'm not the one who decided who was going to be invited, but yes, and I think she's maybe still also very popular with her singing and her good looks. So maybe for the moment it works. We'll see.
Carla Bruni, innocent till proven guilty. Many thanks.
That's how it is.
William Julié. Stay with us. There's much more to come. More news plus today's business. And in sports, we'll raise the curtain on England versus the Netherlands second semi-final at Euro 2024.